Hello, welcome YouTubers. Here we go. It's been a while since we did the last YouTube update. We were talking about, as you recall, the market having a possibility of getting to 570, the weekly pivot. That was last week, and also a run for the roses, monthly resistance 581, and again quarterly at 585 as we conclude the quarter. So what happened? Well, the Fed went large. They didn't go home. They went big, and they did a half-point rate cut, and the market surged, had an intraday high at around that 572. Our current positions and our stance has been bullish. We've shared with you our positions. The Russell, of course, Microsoft, we added AT&T, Pfizer, Boston Properties, British Tobacco, Alibaba, Amazon, MongoDB, and AMD, PayPal. All of those are positions that we had long. And for this week, and you can always pause this, you'll find out here on Cloud. Now we have an option strategy which we took profits on, but I'm looking for a dip. Why am I looking for a dip? I'm looking for a dip to get in. Nike, UPS, we told you about a trade that we gave in the live trade room. It is making the newsletter. Last week, United Parcel Service fell in sympathy with FedEx's dismal earnings report. They had bad top line, bad bottom line, they gave bad growth, and then all of a sudden, it was down almost 15%. It took UPS down with it, but UPS did something magical. It didn't crash and burn. It actually pulled back into what we were recommending in the room, as well as what I gave you guys on YouTube. So it's actually, these are the areas, just in case we get any kind of pullback, we added it to official portfolio. Alphabet, MongoDB, Microsoft, Sienna Corp. Now, Sienna Corp today on Monday just gapped higher, 5% higher, big move. Steel Dynamics, and yes, Disney. I don't know how you guys feel about Disney, but Disney. This week, I'd like to point out to you that we have a timing cycle element that would give us a potential turn at the end of the week to the downside. So I'm kind of thinking we get some early week upside, or at least maybe run for the roses into the quarterly pivot resistance, and then from that level maybe we pull back in the first couple weeks of October. I mean, if I had to guess, that would be my guess of the overall market. Actual trades going forward, a couple things that I want to light you up that we did in the live trading room. Now, as a full disclosure for our fund, JP Asset Management, we are long Cloudfare, been long Cloudfare. And what happened out today was interesting. It was up, as you can see here, about almost 4%. Cloudfare announced a new service today that blocks website or web. It blocks scrapers using AI and bots trying to take people's information off their website. A good example would be Best Buy. If you go online, they say, "Hey, there's a special sale price. By the way, go into the, to see the price, put it in the shopping cart." That's to keep bots of its competitors from seeing what they're selling at what price. Now, we're coming up with the holiday season. Remember, there's going to be Black Friday. So Cloudflare comes up with this product that's going to be for their clients, and I guess for some users, just as a taste, something to use. When this information gets out a little bit more on the mainstream, it could give us another 5 to 10% upside. Cloudflare as a data cloud storage provider. Again, the example that I'm giving you about their new product allows owners of web services to block these scrapers using what they call Cloudflare's AI audit. So again, data scraping is a process that uses bots to extract data from a website, like getting competitors' best prices, as I said. And again, whether it's Best Buy trying to take off what Amazon's doing, or Amazon learning what Walmart's doing, or what Kohl's and what Burlington Coat Factory, or who's doing what deal, or maybe Wayfair to this, to that. The amount of clients that sells to consumers to keep their customers and their eyes attracted to their website is what's important. It's all eyes on the website to shop for deals. And if you can hide your deal and keep your competitor from scraping off your website, this is the product. Cloudflare also, by the way, today had in this September 27th expiration, that's this week, The 87 strike calls had like 1,100 volumes. So someone went in there on 1,100 options. There was only 125 open interest, and someone bought those for 80 cents. So they're looking for a little bit of upside on Cloudfare. The stock symbol is NET this week. So those options already started to get some upside. I thought I'd share that information with you. How high could it go? I don't know, maybe a 2-3 day run. Another 5%, $4. That's $90. Look, $88 is the again the weekly, and the weekly pivot's 86. The monthly is 88. It's the end of the quarter. Let's take a look at a weekly chart real quick. Look, I wouldn't be surprised that in time it gets up to 90. I don't know about this week, but needless to say, it had some pretty decent volume, and we might see some follow through up into that 88 to 90 range this week. Worth a shot at 80 cents, that's for sure, right? Marvell, that was another one we were looking at, and I'll give you that in just a second. Its competitor is Micron. Micron's not quite Marvell's competitor. It's a semiconductor stock. The semis got slapped around a little bit last week as we saw some rotation come out of semis a little bit. Micron has earnings Wednesday after the close. Marvell had a bad run of it. Their CEO, I believe, passed away, or the founder of Micron passed away at age 63. So Micron last week kind of got sold off a little bit. Let me bring up a chart for you on Micron. Let's go and look at Nike and change it to Micron. Here we go. So Micron today was up. The volume looks pretty decent. This is on balance volume. And what I would suggest here, or what I saw today, was that Micron, everyone's getting excited about the earnings that are coming out Wednesday, right? Yeah, volume's okay. I mean, it's got a little gap. It could fill it. It tried filling it today. There's the high right there. Tried filling that tiny little gap. Upside major resistance back to 106. Micron's just not had a good run relative to other semiconductors. And the one that I'm referring to is MRVL, okay? So Marvell, if we take a look and I'll go back here, MRVL. What's interesting today is Marvell, while it was off the lows, and it was negative still on the day, it exceeded its 10-day average volume by almost 15%. So it had pretty decent volume. So I would say one could argue it sold off on heavy volume, or one could argue buyers stepped in on the lows and helped provide a lift. Now the on-balance volume assigns a negative volume because, and you can clearly see the movement in the volume from point A to point B, as I'm just illustrating for you. Yes, that was hefty volume, and yes, that's not good. I mean, from this close to that low, it was liquidated. The founder of Marvell, like I said, last week passed away. He was 63 years old, but I don't think the company's just solely in his hands. Marvell, I think, also sold last week in sympathy with most of the semi stocks, but it could recover. And I think if Micron has a fairly decent earnings, someone today, we noticed that the October 18th expiration, the 75.80, that's the 75 strike call, buy those, sell the 80, the difference you pay was about $1.20. So someone did around 300 of those today. The weekly options that expired this Friday, they were buying the 72 strike calls. Someone did, and if you look at where the market settled today, 71.82. So the 72 strike calls were bid up at around 4.5, maybe close to almost 5,000 volume today, and they were going for $1.30. So if you buy a 72 call for $1.30 and they expire Friday, your break even is $73.30. So for $130 per option, right, you're expecting a better move. Could it go back up and just test the highs? If it goes up to 76, obviously you're going to more than double your money on that on a small, simple move. That's Marvell. That's what we had at least uncovered for some unusual volume in the market today. I'll go over some other stuff. We'll do an update, a couple other things. Snowflake, you may see Snowflake here, and I'll leave you with this last thought. As a trade idea for this month, or hopefully maybe a little bit better. If we can get a close over these two green lines, that's at 118. Odds are we come back up at least 128, 130 is the upside. The on-balance volume, we see a market that's moved down in price with volume going up. That's what we would refer to as a bullish convergence pattern. Snowflake, someone did the September expiration this week, the 27th. They did the 117 calls, and they put on about 1,500 of those, and they were kind of cheap. The only news that I came up with with Snowflake is they're doing what's called their World Tour Conference in various cities around the world. And it may create new clients from the live demos and the latest in their developments in the AI cloud data benefits. So anyway, that it's been underperforming, obviously, for quite some time in the software and cloud storage markets. But keep your eyes, Snowflake this week could see it could stand up, no pun intended, head and shoulders above the rest. Have a great rest of your day, your evening, Monday. It is, again, a wonderful time to be a trader in this market. The Federal Reserve cut rates 0.5 point, like I said. It should help benefit the small cap. And we've been telling you at least for this particular YouTube channel, we've been telling you about exposure to long side of IWM. Relative weakness this week, you want to be exposed in the December calls going forward. And yes, I would say call spreads is warranted. I believe that the Russell, after we get maybe a mini pullback, and we've got resistance here at 225, let's call it. That's that green line I've got there identified, and support. So the rock and the hard place is this zone. Any pullback to 216 to 218, I think should be bought. I am cognizant, aware of a gap at 213, but here's what the big prize in the sky is. Whether the market has and overshoots the runway and pulls back or not, I'm in the camp that this stock, or excuse me, this ETF could easily re-challenge the highs at the very least where it was back in November of 21. Now that we have rate cuts behind us, I think that this is an easy play, and it should take, as well as the January effect is what it's referenced, between December of this year and January. Albeit all things remain equal, no major surprises of a geopolitical nuclear war in the Middle East, or an unprecedented sweep in the House, Senate, and the White House by one single party. That would be something to shake things up. But all things being equal, that's why options allow us to have an educated guess, a decent trade with defined risk and an upside. And my work suggests we should get some upside. Volume is pointing higher, and we are breaking out of what I would call a multi-month shoulder, head, shoulder type of pattern, and maybe we get a breakout of epic proportions. And I'm targeting at the very least a 240 and possibly even a high of 250. Take care. We'll update the YouTube channel later this week if we get anything. And I hope at least last week, the last video I did said we were bullish the market. We were looking for it the least in the 570 pattern, or 570 weekly resistance in the SPY. And you can see we got 572.88. Have a great rest of your week. And until the next update, thanks for listening. And I hope you found the information beneficial. And as always, when you find these videos good, give me a thumbs up. If you like what's on the videos, you can always add a comment. I'll try to reply to you when we see them. Take care, and always, you can go visit the website at personsplanet.com for more information about our live trading room, the work that we do, the research, and the trades that we put out on a live basis every single day. Thanks again, everybody. Take care now.